Hi world, this is Cinema Steph, and I am here to do my first film review on the movie Gravity, which came out earlier this month. Okay, so Gravity is a disaster movie, kind of, or like a survival movie. I'll talk more about that later. Anyway, was directed by Alfonso Cuaron. It stars Sandra Bullock and George Clooney. Sandra Bullock's character is Dr. Ryan Stone, and Clooney's character is an astronaut by the name of Matt Kowalski. Now the movie starts off in space already, so it's kind of like in media res, and it's almost entirely set in space. I don't want to reveal too much about the ending. It's rated PG-13 for intense perilous sequences, some disturbing images, and brief, strong language. I mean, little kids could see this. It's really not that scary, especially if they could handle like really any action film type thing. They could handle this. I think that the F word is used maybe once. That's really about, and there's one disturbing image kind of near the beginning, but it's only for like a moment, and it kind of startles you, and then that's that. Let's see. This movie, it's getting a lot of really good press. It got a lot of good reviews from critics and movie and theater goers, and it's pretty good. It's not one of my favorite movies. I can't say that. It's not fun, but it is entertaining, and so the premise is that there is a Russian satellite that is shot down, and this creates debris that then destroys the satellite and the space shuttle that Sandra Bullock's character is supposed to return to Earth on. And so basically, you have George Clooney, and he has sort of a cool like space jetpack thing, but Sandra doesn't have that, and so they're floating around trying to find their way back safely through Earth's atmosphere, and yeah, that's basically the whole idea. There is some, this character development is not like it's all action. You learn about Dr. Stone's daughter who passed away, and that's really about all you learn about her. She's kind of a boring character, actually, but I guess that's what makes this interesting, is that you're taking this boring character and you are putting her in a perilous situation, and just kind of observing what she does. It's as a viewer, I wanted her to succeed, but more because I wanted to see how she did it, and I was curious about like how could she possibly get back to Earth safely, more than actually caring about her character's survival as a fellow human being, which maybe that's just me, I don't know. So I'm curious what other people have to say. Let's see what else. Yeah, there's not very much comedy in this. It's George Clooney kind of provides some comic relief, but not too much. He just has some quirks and some little lines that he says again and again, which actually I thought was kind of cool, since he's supposed to be an astronaut, and he keeps referencing Star Wars, although no one in the movie acknowledged that, which I thought was kind of weird. But he's always saying, like, I've got a really bad feeling about this, which, I mean, that's what Han Solo says, and like everyone in Star Wars. Anyway, um, as far as being a disaster movie, it's, as I said, it's more of a survival movie, um, in the sense that it's a very, I don't know if that's really considered a separate genre, but what I'm trying to get across is that it's not like the disaster movies of the 70s, which are really the only ones I've seen, um, Towering Inferno and Poseidon Adventure, because those have like an ensemble cast, and so you have these groups of people, and the whole thing that you're supposed to be getting out of it is like observing their interactions. But when you have just two people in space, and then at some point in the movie, and I'm not going to spoil how it happens, but they get separated. So really, you just have one star in gravity, and star, um, and she's stuck in space, and I mean, yeah, she only has George Clooney and herself to talk to, so it's more like Castaway, um, with Tom Hanks talking to Wilson, the volleyball. It's more of that kind of feeling. Let's see. Now I saw the movie in 3D, which I usually try to avoid, but that was the only option at the time that I went to see it. And you know, it was okay. There were a few moments that I really noticed the 3D. I guess you do get more of a sense of the infinite depth of space a little bit, but it's kind of hard to really tell depth on stars, I guess, that are, you know. Yeah, so that part, didn't do too much, but there were some really cool moments, especially when the debris was flying towards me, that I actually, I was like blinking, and because it's like, oh, there's all this stuff shooting towards my eyes. But that was really about it. Basically, I still think that 3D movies, it's just a gimmick that's really annoying when you're wearing glasses already. I don't have contacts. I wear glasses on a day-to-day basis, so it's really obnoxious wearing two pairs of glasses at the same time. But the important thing is that even without the 3D, this movie would survive as a story. Can stand on its own. See, the acting was good. It was very good at times. At other times, well, I mean, it was just a lot of action. So, but when Sandra Bullock is emoting, she does a good job. I did feel that sometimes when she goes into one of her like crazy monologue type things, that the writing was a little bit weak, but there's this one part where she's howling like a dog, and it's like, okay, you've lost it, but I guess that's just supposed to be somewhat humorous and just somewhat, I don't know, weird. But yeah, Sandra pulls her weight, and George Clooney also is very, very good in his supporting role. Now this movie, I thought what I was really most impressed with was actually the cinematography and the musical score, those two things together. And sound editing. So, okay, those three things together. Because you have these really cool point of view shots, and it only happens maybe 2 or 3 times, but whenever it happened, I was like, whoa, that was so cool. Because it's like all of a sudden you're inside the helmet, and it can be really annoying because it's like, I can't turn my head and see what's over there, or there's something blocking my vision, but I thought that was a really neat decision on the part of the director and the cinematographer, because you don't always see point of view, and also what I was saying about the sound editing, there's a lot, the sounds in this movie, like it says at the very beginning, there are no sounds in space because there's no air to carry the sound waves, blah blah blah, but like when she's inside a pressurized, shuttle or whatever, of course there is air, and so you get like beeps and whatever And the radio static, there's a lot of radio static, and just the way it kind of fades from complete silence to into these mechanical sounds, and then into the soundtrack, the score, which is just fantastic, I thought. It was really done pretty flawlessly, so I was very impressed with that, and especially at the very end, it's got this very dramatic score that I wouldn't mind, buying the soundtrack to, maybe. Yeah, I guess that's about it. The one other thing I was going to mention was that the Russians, like, there's no real bad guy, of course, it's a disaster movie, but I thought it was funny that they mentioned that it's a Russian satellite that gets shot down, and that's what starts the whole chain reaction thing. Because it's like, come on, guys, the Cold War's been over as long as I've been alive, so, or longer. So, I mean, it could have been anyone's satellite that was shot down, but it was a Russian one. So, it's kind of humorous. I don't want to read too much into that, but, I mean, of course, there are lots of Russian satellites. There are lots of American satellites. There are lots of Chinese satellites, and whoever else. But yeah, so overall, it was entertaining. It wasn't one of those movies that I want to watch over and over and over again. Not one of my favorites, but I thought that the cinematography and the audio-visual experience was something worth seeing, worth experiencing. Sorry, I'm being redundant. Anyway, so I hope I didn't discourage anyone from seeing this, and of course everyone's free to have their own opinions on the movie. I would give it maybe a 7 or 7.5 out of 10, and maybe I'll see it again like 5 years down the road, but I probably won't want to see it more frequently than that, and it's not going to be something I'm going to be quoting. Yeah, that's my review of Gravity. Thanks for watching.